The topic is what Al-Quran says about Aliha, translated as gods, and Allah, the God. Before I discuss the topic, I would like to give you the few meanings of the words that are used for gods, and they are also referred as idols. The idols that are mentioned in the Quran by the word tamathil or tamthil. It's an Arabic word, tamthil or tamathil. What does it mean is images, or you see like dramas, tamsil, dramas, or films, or anything related to allegories also. An allegory is something that you narrate a narration or a story which is not real, but you deduce a concept that are known as allegories. They are not real stories, but you narrate a story and that you can understand by the whole sentences that this means this. Or idioms. They are known as tamasil or tamsil, idioms, allegories, which are usually used in a sentence in a language, but it doesn't really mean exact the essence of that sentence, but it's something like you understand something else. That is known as tamathil or tamsil. Then the word used is awsan, which is a literal translation is idol. Idol, or you can say idols. They are idols. How they become gods, that's a lecture, but I'm just giving you the meanings of those words. What is an idol? That you have an infatuation or a person really admire somebody or something and it becomes an idol. A fantasy, it's not real, or infatuation, a false notion of the real. You think it is real, but it is not real. That is known as an idol or wathan, or the plural is awsan. Then there is another word used in the Arabic is sanam. This is known also translated as idol, but you can understand the difference between wathan and sanam. Sanam is an idol which is beloved idol. Beloved idol means that you love that thing or a being, human being or whatever. And that adoring is beyond love, and that is adoring blindly without any reason or logic. These are the words that are used for idols. But what the brother said, Ilah, Aliha, gods, how they become gods to a human being. That is the lecture. You have to understand. First of all, we must understand who we as human beings are. Like for example, we have a body, and in our psyche, we have got emotions or feelings, and intellect or wisdom. Two words. In psyche, we have got emotions or feelings, and wisdom and intelligence. Intelligence and wisdom and emotions and feelings. I'm using two words. Either you can say wisdom and emotions, or you can say intellect and feelings in psyche. So what is the wisdom? Wisdom is something that you use your brain, you use your logic and reasoning to understand a factual thing. And once you understand the fact of anything, how do you govern yourself by that fact? So a person who has got a wisdom, he uses his logic and reasonings to arrive the fact An intellect person will also do the same. Using his intelligence, he will use his power or reasoning and logic to understand a thing. And once he understands, because he's got the same thing, he may not practice the understanding, what it comes to him. If it's wrong, he will understand it is wrong, but still he will do it. For example, I give you an example, like drinking is wrong, universally accepted. Adultery and fornication is wrong, universally accepted. But a wise person, by the research and science and intelligence, uses logic and reasons, and once he concludes that this is a fact and it should not be, a person should not indulge in these activities. So he's a wise person. The intellect will also use his intelligence and power reasoning to understand it, but he may not practice it, meaning he will drink, knowingly that is wrong. So that's the difference between intellect and wisdom. Now the other aspect of the human personality is the emotions. What are those emotions? We must understand that first. The emotions are like love is an emotion, revenge, jealousy, hatred, happiness, unhappiness, hurt. When a person is hurt, is an emotion. He cries, he laughs, fear. These are emotions in everybody. So a man is a combination of these emotions. Maybe further also, I'm just giving you to understand that these emotions in connection with intellect or wisdom, a human person lives his life. By using his emotions, by using, not using, but it's given to us by Allah, this intellect, the wisdom, and the feelings and emotions, we are a combination of both, and how to use in the world, how a personality leads his life is based on this, every human being. Then there is this ilah, is the Arabic word which means God, small God, God. Small God means God, ilah. And in the Arabic, like for example, the kitab in Arabic means a book. When you add al-kitab, al to kitab, it means the book. So if you add al-ilah, so it becomes, alif is dropped and it becomes Allah, the God. That means we are specifying that this is not ordinary a God, any God, but it is the God. And that is the translation in English language, Allah. Allah, Allah, the God. This also normally, there's a dispute between the grammarians. So I just would like to clarify that. Now, on the following pages, what are the idols and how they become the idols of a human being is mentioned in the following page. I will read these references and the words of Arabic and its translation, then I will elaborate. Beware of the partners, idols, false gods associated with Allah. The first is Surah Nuh 71, 23 ayah, love. That is wadda, translated love for wadda. Surah Najm 53, 19. Allata, would be, if and buts. Just listen to these first, then I will explain later on. Manata, Surah Najm 53 and 20 verse, alas, longing. Surah Najm 53, 20 verse, Al-Uzza, honor, respect. Al-Furqan 25, ayah 43, hawa, desire. Nuh 71, surah 23, ayah, Yaghusa, or seek aid. Nuh 71, 23, ayah, Ya'uq, delay. And Nuh 71:23 ayah, Nasr, vulture. Then Surah Nuh 71:23 ayah, time or hour, time. Suwa, time or hour. As-Safat 37 Surah ayah 125, Ba'la, husband. At-Tawbah 9 and ayah 31, Ahbar, scholars. At-Tawbah 9:31 verse, Ruhban, terrorist. Shura 26:29, Fir'aun, the Pharaoh. Al-Ma'idah 5:116, Jesus and Mary. Isa wa Maryam. Hamim 41:37 Surah, Shams wa Qamar, sun and the moon. There are others as well. I just mentioned few of them, which mankind, because of their emotions, once they are trapped by one of these emotions, I will explain how the intelligence works for them and they become idols of human beings. Now, the further page will give you the meanings, and we will discuss these words, how these words are related into human psyche. The first word I'll discuss, wadda, which means love or likeness. Translation, meaning of this is a strong feeling of fondness of another person, or may be combined with sexual attraction. Not necessary, but also love. There are types of love. Now, this love is an emotion given by Allah to love your parents, to love your children, to love your wife, and to love your brotherhood, and love the believers have love among each other. That is given by Allah, that emotion to all of us, that we have this emotion. How it becomes an idol, that is we have to understand. When this emotion, suppose a person, I'll just give you an example and I'll interlink all the guards so that you will understand. Any one person involved in love with anything, you imagine yourself, is in love to an extent that his intellect is working for that love. So this love, how it happens, you fell in love with somebody or with your country, with your thing, beyond the orders and the governing ayahs of the Quran. So it extends to a limit, it extends to a higher degree, that you overpass the laws or the orders of Allah. So that is love. So it is, you are involved in love, or you fell in love. The second connection with that love would be manat, longing. I will not go into that bad sequence which you have, but I'll just give you the word, the manat, the longing. A strong feeling or wish of wanting something. Once you're in love for anything you imagine, then a longing, a manat, tamanna, will originate in you. You will long for it. You can love yourself also, but you will long for it. Or you will have a strong feeling in you to attain that love. That is manat. Manat, tamanna. First is the love. Now you've identified, I love this person, or I love myself, or I love the country. Then a strong desire will be in you, and that is referred as manat, tamanna. You will long for that love. It is related. And then the second I will say is hawa, desire. A wish to want or hope strongly. The longing is that you are having that desire. And what is hawa is that you wish it happens it is not an inward desire, but you are wishing that it happens, that I get my love. Hawa. The reason? You want uzza, respect, honor. The meaning of it is the great respect and admiration with people have for a person, country, etc. often publicly expressed. So first the target is the love, then you have got this longing, and then you wish for it, for that person whom you are in love, and then you ultimately you gain honor and respect. You think that if I will have that love, I'll be honorable and I'll have respect. So this is how they're interlinked. All these are, I'm interlinking, that I've identified the love, and then longing comes in you, and then you have a desire, you start wishing for that person or that person, and you want honor and respect from that love. So what you will do? You go to Nasr, vulture. A person who uses weaknesses, helpless people for his or her own advantage and gain. Now, the target is that personality, the love, effect. What is, you can be a country, I'm telling you, anything, from human being to anything. So you will use the weakness of that person to get him. Because it's a longing, wishful thinking. And you want honor, respect from him. You will use all the means to find out the weakness of the person to attain that. To get him, to get that person. Or to get that love. And the further is yauq, delay. To cause to be late or taken action slowly. Then you will use delaying tactics. How to manipulate or delay to attain that love. To attain that love, or then you will use backbiting, that is nasr. You will use suspicion. You will have suspicion about that love. And you will also use delaying tactics. How I attain that love. I love that person or whoever it is, or who is a thing also. So you will use delaying tactics. Now, sometimes you are wishing, you are longing, and you're not getting you're not achieving that goal of love. So what you do, you go to seek aid to people, the yagos, something that provides help or support, which means the process easier and effective. You go and seek aid from other people, that how I should attain that love. Seek aid. So these strong love, then you are wishing, longing, you start doing nasr, vulture, you start finding weakness of that person, you delaying tactics to get honor and respect. Now you go to somebody to seek aid, how I should get this person or that love. That you are seeking aid, yaghus. And for that, I will say that, like, for example, you may go to a scholar, ahbar, scholars, they are also become idol. Or you will go to some terrorist, Roban. Or you may go to a pharaoh, who is a strong person in the world, who dictate terms. Or you ask the idol Jesus and idol Mary to attain that love. Or you ask the sun or the moon, because people believe in the sun and the moon, wishful thinking. So these are the relationship, how you want to attain that love. So you seek aid by the stars, by the moon, by other things, so that I get my ultimate goal is the love and honor and respect. But once you go to these seeking aid, different aids, yaghus, you make this person as your yaghus, or you seek aid from him, or you seek aid from this, or you seek aid from that. And if you don't get it, as don't get it, then you fall into Lat. Would be means which wants or intended to be, but it is not if and buts. Now what happens once you seek aid and once you're not getting the results, and as the time passes by, you get involved in if and buts. If I would have gone to the other person, I would have got it. Or if I have not done this, I may have got it. Then you use if and buts. If I would have done that, maybe I would have achieved that. So then you are interlinked. You got your psyche is involved in if and buts. Because you went to different scholars, you seek aid from different people to attain that love, you didn't got it. So you are fixed up by if and buts. If that thing would happen, I would have done, if I would have done this, I would have gone to this person, but I didn't go. So your mind is stuck up in that. Finally, what happens? Suwa. The time is passing by. Hours and hours, days and days and months. It is passing by, your psyche is fixed. It's all involved in this. So what happens? You are fixed and the time passed by. So that is suwa, hour and time. You are not getting the results. You are fixed up with the if and buts. You are going to one, seeking aid from one yaghus to another yaghus, and the time is passing by. You are finding faults. You are busy in all this. Your wishful thinking is going on, the longing and the desire, and the hour and the time pass by and you do not get the results, and the whole time, the whole day and morning, the life is not, these, or if you're involved in this, you cannot get the message of Allah. But if I say the same thing, I apply that I love Allah. So for all these things that are given to you, then I won't want respect from God, but Allah, I'll be pleased. I use this words that my tamanna, the mannat would be that I want to love God. So the same will be all right if they are under the influence of the governing eyes of Allah. I will explain to you how again. I love Allah, so then the second I chose was manna. Then the desire for me to long, I will have this longing desire for the love of Allah. So I will wish also. Manat, and manat is tamanna, is longing desire. Then this is hawa, then I'll desire that I hope that Allah give me the honor and the respect. I be good, razi, or Allah be pleased with me. This is my desire also. So then what I will do? I will not, this vulture, I will not, the person who seeks weak, helpless people or for his own, this vulture nature I will not do. How I will do? I will read the Quranic ayahs and understand the essence of the message of the governing ayahs. And if these ayahs I come to know and I practice them, so I educate people by the ayahs, so they will think that I'm finding faults in them. Well, I'm not doing that. I am trying to understand the essence and govern myself. I have the same vulture nature, but it is different. I educate the Quranic eyes to mankind so that they understand their wrongs. So I'm not finding faults, basically. I'm trying to educate. The ayat itself is governing me, and when I'm explaining these ayats to people, it appears to them that he's trying to find fault in us. I will not backbite them, but I will inform people how to do the good things. So the same vulture becomes positive in the nearness of, because Allah has provided us. Then I will seek aid. From whom? From Allah and His messengers. What He is saying it. So I will seek aid. And if I did something wrong, then I will go into Lat, Manat, if and buts, that if I would have not done this, then I would get involved. But what the result would be, then I will not do it again. If I do something wrong by the governing ayahs, that if and but I will use it, argue it, would be, but in the future I will not do it. The same technique I will use if and buts. The same I will use for other people. If person is arguing with me the message of God, and he or she doesn't know the meaning, the essence of God, I will use ayahs and I will use logic and reasons to convince him by the using if and buts to him also, as I did it to myself. The same. And then, what is suwa? Then my time is will be regularized from Fajr prayers to Isha prayers. I am using my whole 24 hours time in understanding the essence of the message, implementing and governing myself. So my time is not a God. So every idol will not become mine, but these are there. How to go about it, that we have to understand. But if the goal is not Allah, anything else, it becomes your idols. The whole system I explained.
Assalamu alaikum. In Surah Baqarah, ayat 106,
Okay.
the cancellation of ayat is mentioned. What are those ayahs? Can you clarify?
In Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and Ayah 106, I will read this ayah, and there are different opinions of this one particular. Again, I was just telling this lady that how will you understand that it has no contradiction? Look, this is the proof now. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, 106 ayah. You write down the reference. I will read the ayah. Ma nansakh min ayatin aw nunsiya nati bi khairin minha aw mithliha alam ta'lam anna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. Before I explain this ayah, you must understand what has happened. This ayah, people say, there are people in the scholars of the world, they are saying there are many ayahs that are being cancelled by Allah. That's what you are asking.
Yeah,
You are asking. The ayahs are being cancelled. So some of the ayahs are cancelled, and some he brought better than these ayahs. So they refer to that previously there was a law, and that law was cancelled. Now Allah brought a new law. That was cancelled. Now again brought something new. So this is how people are interpreting this ayahs. So, and there are scholars who, like for example, Abdul Yusuf Ali, and maybe like in Urdu there is Abu Mansur. There are few scholars, very few scholars. They have said, they have wrote down that Allah does not cancel any ayat. That is 2-3%. But the majority are saying that Allah cancels. And now, if you are reading a translation, this is exactly opposite. Some people are saying Allah cancels, and some people they are saying Allah does not cancel. But the majority are saying Allah cancels. Minority are saying Allah does not cancel ayahs. That's the two opposite, translation. Now the question is, by the grammar, both are people learned than me, the grammarians. They are translating, and by the way, Abdullah Yusuf is been now revised in Medina University, from the Medina, Al-Madina, university there, and they are revising scholars are sitting down and translating the Arabic text, and they also again translated that we do not cancel. But the Arabic text says that we cancel. First of all, I must put in that we cancel, because by the grammar. Now what he cancels, I will explain that. Does he cancel the ayahs, or does he cancel something else? Because it doesn't make, Allah is a perfect personality, his book is perfect. He does not do mistakes, that if you do a certain mistake, you cancel it and then you bring another thing. That's not Allah's work. Man does it. Like some rules were made before some government, and now new rules are made. Another time new rules are made. In every nationality of the world, people are amending their rules and systems to improve upon. Allah does not do such things. So what the ayah says, I will read down, and believe me, this is my translation. So you just have to take up the book from me sometime, or my translation and print it. I will read. We cancel from the ayat. Whatever we will. We make it forgotten. I'm just reading, then I explain. Or we make it forgotten. Or we come or bring with a better from it, ayat, or similar from it. Do you know that surely Allah is power capable of all things? So in the Arabic, I'm just trying to explain that the translation where it goes wrong. Ma nansakh min ayatin. Ma means whatever. Nansakh means we cancel. Min ayatin, from the ayat. This little portion I'm going to explain to you, then you'll understand everything. Ma means whatever. Nansakh means we cancel from the ayats. So does it sound to you that it says we cancel the ayat? Excuse me, does it sound to you that we cancel the ayat, or from the ayat we cancel? From the ayat we cancel. So what he cancels from the ayat, you go to surah, write down another reference, Surah Hajj 22 and ayah 52. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ مِن رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ ثُمَّ يُحْكِمُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. And we have not sent from before you a messenger nor a prophet, except when he wishes or desires, Shaitan encounters or put in his wish. Shaitan encounters or put in his wish. So Allah cancels. Fayansakullah. Allah cancels ma yulqi shaitan. What the shaitan puts in it, in the Allah's ayats. So Allah cancels shaitan what encounters. So Allah cancels what shaitan encounters or puts in it. Then Allah governs his ayahs. Allah is knowing why. فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانِ ثُمَّ يُحْكِمُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. Allah cancels what shaitan puts in. Okay? Now I'm coming back to the same ayah. مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَاتٍ. So I says, we cancel. Here it says, we cancel whatever from the ayat. Whatever we cancel is from the ayahs. So from the ayahs, what he cancels? Whatever he cancels is from the ayahs. So I'm asking simple question. What Allah cancels from the ayahs? Whatever. What ma yulqi shaitan, whatever shaitan puts in the ayahs, Allah cancels that. Allah does not cancel the ayat. Whatever the shaitan puts in or encounters in the ayahs, Allah cancels that. And he governs. ثُمَّ يُحْكِمُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. Then he makes sure that the ayat is established, governed. So Allah says here in this ayat can be understood by, if you go to Surah 22, what is he cancelling? All the time, the ayat, you read any ayat, believe me, all the time when you read ayat, there is a narration put in your mind. All the time. All the time when you're reading any ayat, people have put something in your mind. This ayat means this ayat means this. So you read ayat, the moment you read ayat, that comes in your mind. So when the essence of ayat comes, it cancels that. It cancels what is ever put in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever is put by man or shaitan puts in your mind, by reading it cancels that. So Allah says, we cancel from the ayat whatever the shaitan throws in. Okay? And further he says, and we make it forgotten. Then what the concept the shaitan has put in, Allah is cancelling. You forget that. And then he said, Nati bi khairin minha. Then he brings better ayahs to cancel again. Or similar ayahs. So you read in the ayahs in the Quran that a narration is given, one narration about Adam alayhi salam. And after in Surah Baqarah, if you read about Adam alayhi salam, about Musa alayhi salam, and then when the event is repeated again, either it is a better ayat comes or similar ayat comes to cancel the alqa shaitan. Whatever the shaitan is throwing all the time, he brings another ayat, similar ayat, so it catches you again. Then he brings another ayat, another further ayat, you go. So Musa Islam, suppose I'm giving an event of Musa, peace be upon him, or Adam, peace be upon him. There are many narrations. So he brings an ayat, similar ayat or something better than, so that the wrong concept or the shaitan what has put is been cancelled again and again and is been forgotten. So Allah cancel is from the ayats whatever the shaitan throws in. Allah does not cancel his ayats. There is not a single ayat in the Quran that Allah has cancelled. Remember this. Allah is cancelling whatever the shaitan is throwing in all times. So what Allah cancel is the alqai shaitan. All the time people are throwing, something, so Allah is cancelling that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.